I have a confession to make. It's true. I am exhausted. Seriously, I am exhausted in the best possible way. After a week in Orlando, Florida, for the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, I have so much to share with you today. My journey started on the Monday before the show began for a travel day, sound check, and confirming the final details from the show. In addition to hosting the KBIS Podcast Studio again this year, moderating a panel on the next stage, and recording conversations from the show, I wanted to help you prepare for the show next February in Las Vegas. And you're thinking, but Josh, next February, that's like 11 months away. That is true. But here's a secret. Come a little closer. Just you and me. It's just us. KBIS is the essential American kitchen and bath show. Full stop. And you need to go to it every year if you are a specifier that's serious about the industry. I'm being completely serious with you. It's about learning, seeing, connecting, and putting all of the pieces together to fully understand how the American market is both setting up for the next year and the trending ideas that have staying power for the next 5 to 10 years. You can listen to Convo by Design for the conversations with industry insiders. If I were a designer, I would. I believe that this show tells the stories that you should really know to get a feel for the directionality of the industry. Specifiers are the pulse of the industry, and the ideas emanating from the show this year covered the tech revolution taking place from an AI perspective. But there's more. The kitchen is in the midst of a wholesale change, and it's exciting, super exciting, to see this happening in real time. Learning was a key theme this year. If you were not at the show this year, you're behind the curve. And I don't say this to scare you. I tell you this so you make the time to get to the show next year. And look, I have spoken with designers and architects who say, I'm just too busy. I can't go this year. I've got too many projects. I've got whatever. You don't get an opportunity like this to see everyone in the same place at the same time, sharing ideas, breaking bread, connecting. It's important. And I wouldn't miss this show. This show is essential. It's one of those that you don't skip. All 3 days. And plan to see as much as you can. But I wanted to share, if you missed it this year, or if you made it and you just want to hear some of the thoughts emanating from it this year, I have some of the key ideas from the show this year. For additional details and a little bit more nuance and texture, check the show notes and you'll get a bit more detail. But listen, here are some of the things that came out of the show this year. Luxury. And you know how I feel about the word luxury, right? It's like Kleenex. It's like bath tissue. It's just become ubiquitous. It really is. It's just everywhere, right? So adding specificity to the word luxury was big this year and did not disappoint. Luxury is the measurable outcome of thoughtful design. It's not an add-on where performance, longevity, and relevance align to support the way people actually live. Luxury is the removal of friction from daily life. It's the durability aligned with intent. It's design that continues to perform long after the purchase is forgotten. It's confidence in functionality, longevity, and fit. It's not what you spend. It's what you never have to rethink. Is that not a luxury? I think it is. In talking about the kitchen as the primary investment, the kitchen remains the number one homeowner investment nationwide. Homeowners are willing to exceed budget in the kitchen more than any other space. The kitchen is the most public and social room in the home. You knew that, but it remains that way, if not even more so, because there are more elements to it now. It represents identity. I'm a cook. I entertain. I host. Food equals memory. Appliances enable those memories. It's getting more emotional. The expanding kitchen ecosystems. Kitchens are no longer singular spaces. They expand throughout the home. Secondary kitchens, scullery, prep kitchen, butler's pantries. The need and desire is rising. Beverage centers, bars, coffee bars, wine storage, increasingly common. Outdoor kitchens are now expected. It's not an add-on. It's not an extra. It's not a luxury. It's expected. Refrigeration appears in bathrooms for skincare purposes and medicine. Offices and guest suites. Multi-generational living drives multi-kitchen design. Post-COVID entertaining shifted bar culture into the home. It really did. Value has replaced price as the primary decision driver. Human-centric design is the new standard. Appliances are expanding beyond the kitchen. Practical innovation versus feature saturation. Less features, more innovation into human-centric design. How do we use it? How does it make our lives better? Appliances as infrastructure for daily life. Quiet luxury, the new definition of premium. Identity and evolution design. Burnout versus ambition. This is on the professional side. Emotional labor and client management for specifiers. It's changing the way you work. Social media and compassion culture. We're spending less time posting and more time talking, which I think is incredible. These are just a few of the ideas that came out of the show this year. And I've never seen a passion around ideas like this like I did this year. It's incredible. So listen, these are the core themes coming out this year, and it tells a story that cannot be ignored. The thought process is changing. So if you want to see more details from that, check the show notes. There's plenty more. Shifting away from that, I want to share two conversations from the show with you. The first is Brandon Kirshner of Azuro Living. We're talking about the control process, control the outcomes inside Azuro Living's Design Advantage. For specifiers, you're going to learn a lot from Brandon and his company, Azuro Living. I think you're really going to love it. If you've listened to the show for any amount of time, you've heard me say this, that the most important word in the design industry is service. Product is important, price is important, selection is important, but stellar service is the premier idea that can make all the difference in the success of a project, any project. How design professionals like you demand great service and your favorite brands in one place with expert, knowledgeable, and non-commission sales professionals. It's really important. It means that their only incentive is your satisfaction. Pacific Sales, Kitchen and Home, a Best Buy company, has just that with over 60 years of experience in Southern California. Pacific Sales is your destination for exploration, advice, and inspiration. Now, you have the Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home team to help you and offer their Pro Rewards program, which is a trade program unlike any you have experienced before. Earn 3% in Best Buy gift cards, e-gift cards, or 2.5% in rewards checks for every qualified and delivered sale. In addition to special trade pricing, exclusive offers, access to exclusive special events, and so much more than I could possibly tell you about here. And the cherry on top is access to exclusive builder trade incentives from top brands and the stellar service, again, from a company that has been serving the industry for over 60 years. Terms and conditions apply to the Pro Rewards program and builder trade incentives. So visit a Pacific Sales expert at a showroom today for full details and to learn how you can unlock additional savings and benefits. Don't miss out on the opportunity to work with the best of the best. Visit Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home today and elevate your projects to new heights.
Hi, I'm Brandon Kirshner, partner and VP of Design at Azuro Living. I lead with our competitive advantage being that we fully own and operate our own production facility. That's rare in our industry, and that industry being luxury outdoor furniture. With that ownership, we have full control down from the raw material to the finished product, and that type of control is just really hard to come by when you're trying to control design, manufacturing, quality, and delivering something that you know is going to withstand the test of time in the luxury market to your end consumer or customer.
It really is. Is it getting more challenging for you to do business now?
I would say, let me give you a brief history and origin story. So we launched our brand in 2020. So since 2020 till now, I could probably write a book on challenges. So I would say no, it's not getting more challenging, and I'm staying optimistic that it's going to get easier.
What's the superpower behind the product?
The superpower in my eyes, because of what I do, probably is design, and that's the industry that we're all here to kind of celebrate and enjoy. I mean, we're investing in these pieces because of the design, the aesthetic, and at the end of the day, that's what our product is made for, to improve the livelihood and lifestyle of our clients.
Talk to me about materiality and design.
Yeah, so I'm a furniture geek at heart. So my background's industrial design, so I geek out on the details. So the raw materials, to sourcing them, to testing them, to making sure they withstand all the elements. Our clients' homes are located in a wide array of temperatures and locations. So it's got to withstand 115 degree summers and Texas sun and Arizona sun, but along with harsh winters.
And it was funny because when we first got together, you were asking me sort of what are some of the standout conversations today from KBIS? Because in case you couldn't tell, we're meeting at KBIS, Kitchen and Bath Industry Show in Orlando, Florida. Yeah. And something that I've been talking about a lot lately is burnout and thriving for the design community and thriving in the face of extreme chaos right now. And that was one of the conversations that I had one recently back in November at the West Edge Design Fair about the same topic. I've become really into it because I love designers. I love design. That's why I started Convo by Design. That's why I started what I do, because I get a chance to talk to them every single week, right? So I love doing it. And I think that part of the barriers that are keeping designers and creatives from really thriving right now is the sheer amount of chaos in the marketplace, from pricing to supply chain to the rapidly changing world of artificial intelligence, the overabundance of social media, just the impact of everything happening everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge for many in the design community, but it's also a challenge for you and what you do. How do you stay on top of it? How do you keep it from getting so heavy, so overwhelming?
I mean, I've been in the furniture industry for nearly 20 years, so I mean, I can look back and collect all of the challenges and say we've seen it all, but we know tomorrow that's not going to be the case. Something geopolitically is going to come up, whether it be tariffs or an issue we're going to have to navigate or dance around. But I really don't let that weigh on me too much, because I know whatever it is, we're going to take it as it comes, we're going to navigate with it, around it, and we're going to find a solution. So I really don't get bogged down in that chaos. We're going to figure it out. That's kind of the mindset.
How do you break through to specifiers? How do you get through to them now? I mean, so much product, so many new ideas, so many things for them to consider. Breaking into the specifier chain is a challenge. How do you do that?
We have a large stake in real estate that we're constantly preparing for a trade show and showing at a trade show. So being at shows, whether it be KBIS or Las Vegas Market or High Point Market or BDNY or the cruise ship show, we have a lot of opportunities to get in front of specifiers and buyers and really generate new leads and build these relationships with existing customers and new customers. So to me, it's the FaceTime at all these trade shows that we're able to network and build our relationships at.
And it's special to do it in person.
Oh, absolutely.
It's funny because that's what I gleaned
Yeah.
from the pandemic. Like, that's what I really took away from that is just how special it is to be in person. And, now having Zoom, I can't imagine how unproductive I was before Zoom.
100%.
Right?
Yes. And you would think the digital age and technology, it was going to erase this like FaceTime and these trade shows a bit in the way that it bounced back. And here we are 4 years, 5 years later. Like, it's actually very exciting to see that it has bounced back, maybe stronger than before. And it's because of what you said. Like, people need that FaceTime. They value that FaceTime. We're in such a cool industry where these relationships, I think, matter more than most. The design community and just being there for each other, and whether it's just peer-to-peer or it's customer to customer, like there's so much good that comes out of that physical in-person interaction.
When did you start being a furniture guy?
Oh God, I was kind of unknown going into college, but I went to art school on a whim. I had a teacher that kind of really steered me in that direction, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. I took a furniture design course. Industrial design was my undergrad degree. And that first furniture design course, like a light bulb clicked, and it was studying all the rock star mid-century architects and furniture designers that made me go, that is exactly what I want to do. It felt natural. It started to come natural to me. And like from that day forward, at like age 19 or 20, that's what I knew I wanted to do, be in the furniture industry and be a furniture designer.
The design process now for the company, what is that like? How do you get from sketch to showroom?
For me, I'm going to revert back to our full factory ownership and control. Like, I've bounced around. I haven't always had that control. But now I have a team in Asia, and being hands-on directly with them in the factory, I think gives me the biggest advantage, just because I'm able to go down to the small, finest detail of that raw material and experiment and challenge people and work daily with weavers to really create interesting patterns. That's a lot of what we do in the luxury outdoor furniture market. It's experimenting with ropes and wickers and the bending of aluminum and just experimenting with form and function to cap it all off. But being hands-on is, I think, really what drives my process.
Do you have a home studio where you get to bend aluminum and bend wicker and burn leather and...
Oh, I don't, but I really wish I did. Like, so much of it is done remote until it gets to a point where I have some physical samples. Then I actually travel overseas quite regularly. So I'm there in person doing that with them, experimenting with them, and that's a part of that hands-on approach that I'm talking about.
What's the learning process like for specifiers? How do you educate?
We do a lot of sales training. We have a great sales team in-house and I don't know how to say that, out-of-house?
Out-of-house.
Out-of-house, an out-of-house sales team. We have a great residential sales team that focuses on all the residential interior design business that we have, and that's via KBIS is the name of our sales team. And then we have in-house that focuses on hospitality and commercial. And so it's really their approach and their training and their lunch and learns. And again, a lot of physical in-person FaceTime that educates the specifiers and buyers.
That's awesome. What would you like a designer or landscape architect who maybe is not familiar with the company, what would you like them to know?
I'd like them to flip through our catalog and see all the different forms. Like I really wanted to create this company to be something different in the industry, not just another Me Too basic furniture company. And so I just really challenge people to study what we have to offer, because I really believe in what we're doing, and I really believe the perspective and the forms and the materials is a new approach, and it's something fresh within the industry.
I love it. Thank you, and thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Cheers.
You're listening to Convo by Design. Thank you, Brandon. Love it. Absolutely love it. Next up, you're going to hear from Kathy Purple Cherry, founding principal of Purple Cherry Architecture, freshly installed in the Convo by Design Icon Registry, We caught up at KBIS for a fresh take, which included human-centered architecture, resilience, and the responsibility of design. Yeah, Kathy reflects on architecture as a lifelong act of care, supporting people through turbulence, embracing multi-generational living, rejecting trend culture, and using design as a tool for healing, connection, and growth. Just amazing. Absolutely love this, and you can hear everything from Kathy right after this. At the highest level of design, the absolute best specifying designers, architects, landscape designers are all highly focused on the technology and performance of products and materials today. You have to, because the products you specify for your projects have to perform and they have to last. That's one of the reasons why I am so proud to be working with TimberTech. Their focus on the technical renaissance of synthetic decking is literally changing the conversation about innovation and performance. It pulls focus on 3 priorities homeowners have and expect from the products their designers and architects specify for their luxury projects. 1, aesthetics must match the overall design and fit visually. 2, durability and maintenance. I've told you about my board flipping stories from my own wood decks. Clients not only want beauty, but they want ease of use, and they want it to last for decades. 3, sustainably made. Clients are more conscious of the environment now, and they want the same of their materials. TimberTech hits each one of these elements with a product that not only meets expectations, they exceed them. TimberTech makes a synthetic decking that looks just like wood, color and embossed wood grain for a natural appearance. Their composite decking is technologically superior, as it has been created to last for decades, and it's manufactured with up to 85% recycled material. Their advanced PVC, vintage, and landmark collections have a Class A flame spread rating, making these products an amazing choice for wildfire-prone areas, which unfortunately continues to grow on the risk map. Check the show notes for more information about this and to find the nearest showroom or lumberyard where you can find TimberTech, or you can check them out directly, timbertech.com.
Hi, I'm Kathy Purple Cherry. I am an architect and I have a firm of architecture and interior design, Purple Cherry Architects. We are located in Annapolis, Maryland, Charlottesville, Virginia, and Soho, New York. Very nice to meet you, sir. Happy to see you again.
Are you
Yes.
easily satisfied through your work?
Am I easily satisfied through my work?
We were just talking before we went live.
It's funny, I don't think so.
Before we went live, we were talking about that satisfied feeling.
Yeah.
Like I'm at KBIS and it's the end of day 2.
Yep.
And I've really been looking forward to reconnecting with you. And you had mentioned, it's that satisfied feeling. And I'm curious, are you easily satisfied in the career? Because you're
in my career?
In the work, yeah.
In the work. I think, no, I wouldn't say I'm easily satisfied. I would tell you that my bar is pretty darn high. And probably what happens for me is I always see the beauty, but I always see what we learn from. And so my brain always sees the pieces that can improve. So it's a lot of the world for me is about teaching and learning, teaching and learning, teaching and learning. And so when you ask if I'm satisfied, I'm very satisfied with always teaching, learning, and growing. That I'm very satisfied with. And I'm always satisfied with our work, but I'm also able to see it with a critical eye to where I go, okay, next time. And then that's where we go back to the team and we talk about lessons learned. Because lessons learned for me are about us sharing what we may have observed or done that can always get better.
It's a gift to be able to do that.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a good thing then.
Well,
then it's a gift for me.
Listen,
I'm thrilled.
It is, and I ask you the question.
Yeah.
Because with many of the creatives that I speak to and have over the years, creatives are generally one of 2 types. They either think that their work is exactly as it should be and everything's in the right place, or they chronically beat themselves up. And I think both will get you to a successful place.
Sure.
But one does so in a more holistic and healthy manner.
I think I'm in the middle of the 2 things you described.
Yeah.
Because I've lived long enough, certainly not to beat myself up anymore. Did I? For a very long time.
Did you?
Oh, yes.
What was the moment of clarity? When did you realize that was not beneficial to you?
Probably when I got to be somewhere in my late 40s. Seriously.
Yeah.
Driven by age and
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am so excited to be talking to you because, and I mentioned this when we saw each other the other day.
Yeah.
So I've been doing the show for 13 years.
Okay.
And
It's a lucky number, by the way. I was married on that day.
absolutely. And about 2 years ago, I started the Convo by Design Icon Registry
Okay.
because it was when I started the show, I felt imposter syndrome, to be honest with you, like
Personally, you felt that personally.
professionally.
Okay.
Like, who am I
To do this.
to be taught? Now, I had a great career in broadcast,
Got it.
but it wasn't in design and architecture. I always just loved design and architecture and love what designers and architects do.
Yep.
It's passion.
Yep.
And sometimes you feel like if you go into an endeavor that is your passion, that maybe we don't deserve to be there. And I certainly...
No, I think it's the greatest place for you to be because in your passion, it's your gift. And so I believe in working in your gifts. So the truth is you're in your gift right now, sir.
I am now.
Yes,
At
now.
at the beginning, I didn't feel that way.
Okay.
And so when, about 2 years ago, I wanted to start really honoring some of the people who have been on the show for a litany of reasons. The qualifications are very, very simple. That they do extraordinary work and they tirelessly give back to the industry.
Thank you.
That has been so good to them. And you have been inducted into the Convo by Design Icon Registry. And
I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. And this is actually the first time in 2 years, once per month. So 24 have been installed, but this is the first time I've had to reconnect with anyone in person to do it. So I'm thrilled to see you again.
I'm thrilled to be here with you again.
And I want to remind people now, if you're hearing this, then you have just finished listening to my conversation with Kathy. Or, I have to find out if it's run already. If it has run, then I'm going to re-air it with this because I think you should hear this. I wanted to reshare some of the things that you said that I just think are extraordinary. And by the way, these weren't said in quotable fashion.
No.
They were said as part of a conversation.
It was probably also a very open, smart-ass kind of response because I'm just kind of have no filter.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
It might be.
Yeah. It's probably what it was.
But it's organic, and that's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best kind of wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, architecture isn't about solving for a moment. It's about supporting people over time.
Yes.
When you and I spoke, I don't remember when exactly it was. I don't remember offhand. It was a couple of years ago.
Yep.
We are in a place now where that sentiment that we talked about a couple of years ago has come to the fore. And I just find that so fascinating. Finally, it's why, and look, there have always been architects and designers who put human-centric
Absolutely.
design. I get that.
Yep.
But to have it as widely accepted now,
Yeah.
it's demanded by the clients.
Yep. Totally. But I also think that we have a need for it now because I think there's so much turbulence going on that anything that helps to calm our thoughts, to organize our life, to do anything within our built environment that can bring us to that safe place is an important part of design, especially with what's going on in the world right now. That's my thoughts.
Do you think
Yeah.
that out of this moment, iron sharpens iron, right?
Say that again.
Iron sharpens iron.
Got it.
That out of this environment, it makes us stronger and more resilient because as an industry, not even talking personally, but as
Yes.
an industry, because like the industry hasn't faced this kind of chaos since 2020, since the pandemic.
Yes.
Before that, it was
And that was a completely different thing, too.
It was a different
than
kind of
what's doing
chaos.
now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And prior to that, it was 08, 09.
Yep.
In another different kind of chaos.
Yep.
But this, everything, everywhere, all at once, it's all just coming at the same time.
Yes.
Do we get stronger as an industry because of it?
So I just simply believe that we always, as human beings, through suffering, become stronger. And so I feel that turmoil is the very thing that gives us the skill sets to make us better people and be able to handle tougher situations. But that's been my life's journey, and so I've always stood in that camp, because if you look back and go, oh my God, all those things were so difficult, then you're a woe is me. So to take all of those lessons and go forward with them is what makes us, I think, great teachers, right? And great helpers to other people, especially as we age. So,
isn't that interesting?
It is.
How are you evolving?
Myself.
Yeah.
So interesting. I don't know the answer to that one yet. I want you to check back in with me again in like 3 to 5 years. So at 66, when you say how am I evolving, do you mean me personally? Do you mean the business? Do you mean the company, the group?
It was an unfairly open-ended question.
Okay.
Meaning, and I value the moment, because your quotables are so, to me, they're so meaningful.
Thank you.
And
I don't even know I do them.
That's the beauty of it, right?
Thank you.
But it tells me that you're a person who is always has one eye on the present and one eye on the future.
And one eye on the past. Always.
Center eye?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's in the back of my head under all this hair. Yeah.
Well, but I'm curious.
Center eye.
Because so much is changing in the industry,
yep.
and the manner in which people are living. And look, we're
yes.
here at KBIS and IBS, and if you walk the floor of KBIS, you can see, you know what I see? I see conversations from 5 years ago manifested in reality on a show floor 5 years later.
Interesting.
So,
so that's good.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
We're evolving quickly.
For example, 5 years ago in Southern California, talking about the multi-kitchen home, mm-hmm. talking about the hospitality element where you will have an ensuite with a kitchenette, and then you may be targeted multi-generational living. Mm-hmm. Multi-generational living is not a typical historical American idea.
No, it's not, but it's definitely coming here.
It is.
It is. And I'm very excited for it, to be honest. And I really admire, actually, that kids generationally are learning that they need to help care for their parents. I kind of love that. And I love that parents want their children to be with them longer, and whether it's being forced because of financial cost to live independently or not, I still think the outcome is a beautiful thing, which is the close-knit family being together for a longer period of time.
And isn't it interesting that the evolution of this idea, how it manifests itself in the U.S., is with millennials?
Totally.
Because they went home and lived in their parents' basement and thought, hey, you know what?
1,000%.
I don't hate these people anymore.
No, that's very true. It's very true. I've witnessed it in my own children. They come full circle to really begin to really respect all the teachings that as a parent you've given them. As long as a parent, you're open-minded to understand that they're adults and they can communicate whatever they want to you, right? We can't control what our children's thoughts are, so we need to give them that voice when they become adults and they're living under our roof. We can't come at that with you're living under my roof, so you have to obey to my rules. Yeah, that doesn't work in multi-generational living.
No, but it's interesting to me, because when I look at your work and go back to our conversations in the past, and I think about that, there are aspects to American life that, and I had a conversation today where, burnout as a badge of honor.
Burnout in what way?
Burnout as in you
working too much, or what?
You work too much. You work hard. You keep working. You keep grinding, because that's what we do here. We work hard. We accumulate. We consume.
When you say here, you're talking about the U.S.
I'm talking about the U.S. Yeah.
I do think we have a shift coming, and it's felt in the workforce right now.
Yeah.
And it is difficult. It's definitely difficult generationally, because those of us who build companies are very used to working 7 days a week. Right?
And along those lines, where I was going with this is there's a palpable tension right now. And that tension is you have people who are being forced to come back into the workplace, who don't want to come back into the workplace. When you have that tension, you have to have a relief valve. That's what architects do. That's what designers do.
Interesting. So you see that You see that in the tension in the workforce, you see the architectural or design environment as the thing that gives them that relief valve.
I see it in that way, as creatives are the ones who can provide options.
Yes, we can. Yeah, I understand.
And I see that the same way. Listen, I've talked to a lot of millennial designers who found themselves after college back in their parents' basement.
Sure.
And their response to that uncomfortable situation was to say, I'm going to redesign this. I'm going to reimagine it. When they did, they discovered something about themselves.
Yep, totally. And I would understand that. What I also think is that those same kids or generation that have gone through that, I think the hardest thing that I'm seeing is that they have to come to also understand that to sustain something for a long period of time is a gift in itself, but to sustain something and grow it is a whole different thing. And so the growing comes from having to have the commitment to work more than you think is the definition of working.
I get that.
Good.
And with that, therein lies the tension.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, and it's funny because I have said this for quite a while. I think design is a right, not a privilege.
Interest. Okay.
Doesn't mean it's something that
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not.
I wanted to go through all aspects of design to say that I get that. So when you saw me pause like that, roll my eyes, it's because I'm going graphic design, I'm going marketing design, I'm going architectural design, I'm doing interior design, and I agree with you. It's not a privilege. It should be a right.
Yeah, it should.
Totally.
Because if you think about it, at the core of every advancement, there is design thought.
Yes.
Whether it's a physical manifestation or mental growth or knowledge evolving an individual.
Yep.
So because of that, I think social media has been one of many detrimental issues that make people feel as though they don't deserve it, or that there's so much slop out there that it's unattainable.
Oh, do you also see it as the polar opposite of that? Do you see it as that there is a thought that it is easy to do, easy to get, and therefore it creates a sense that it is easier to get than it truly is?
I see it as, especially in social media, that it is so ephemeral. What's the point of working so hard for it because it's not lasting? I'll give you an example.
Go.
Every year, between October and February is what I call the silly season. That is when every trade pub, every trade outlet publishes here are the top 10 things you're going to see in 2026. Here are the top 25 things you're never going to see again in 2026. Here are the top 10 kitchen trends that is going to be in. The white kitchen is always at the top of both lists. Mm-hmm. You're going to see it all the time. You're never going to see it again. Mm-hmm. Then there is the quiet luxury.
Sure.
Drenching.
Right.
Bookshelf wealth.
Yep.
It's bullshit.
I agree with you.
And
I actually think that in the agreement, when we are approached with questions like that, we are asked to come up with an answer. And we come up with an answer. That doesn't mean, and we believe that answer is the best of our ability to have the insight for, but that doesn't mean it's an all or nothing. Like it's not, but yet it gets published as an all or nothing. And that's not the way it should be received. Do you agree with that?
I agree with it wholeheartedly, which is also to come full circle, which is why I love our conversations. And
I'll do it with you anytime.
And I appreciate that.
Coffee and no camera, no anything. Go.
I appreciate that too,
Okay.
and I will take you up on that.
Okay.
But also why I wanted to sort of reset the table and share, for those who haven't heard my conversation with Kathy in a while, why you're so special. Because not everyone gives back.
I understand that.
And not everyone...
And I think that's sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
It is sad. But people get busy, you got family things, you got this. But it's the truly special ones who have a gift and their willingness to share it.
Yeah.
What
Thank
did,
you.
What did Picasso say about this?
I don't know. You're going to have to look that one up.
I'm going to butcher the quote, but it was basically the meaning of life. I am going to butcher this. I'll fix it, but I'm going to paraphrase it. That the meaning of life is to discover your gifts, and the purpose of life is to share them. And I believe that.
I love that. I totally believe that. I would say I practice that. Yes. I agree that.
I know you do.
I didn't know that I did, but I do. I also, there was something that you said that I wanted to respond to, which is that I guess when I was in high school, I went through very troubling circumstances. Parents divorced. Prior to that, my brother had drowned when I was young, so it had a big impact on me. And I think when I was in high school, my connection to the Lord was what had to take me through what were incredibly difficult times. So people hear I was bulimic for 22 years, and I was very depressed, and I needed someone. And that relationship, obviously, that I developed at one point made me want to be a nun. So maybe what you know about me, my mother was just an incredibly caring woman, strong faith base, and I just can't imagine living life without giving back. And so whatever that looks like, right? Making sandwiches for the homeless shelter, going up to the Ronald McDonald House and making dinner for 14 years, which is what our team did. And I'm sad to see those efforts have diminished amongst the generations. So the generations now have the phone. They don't have the need to go out and do some of those give backs. I don't mean to generalize. I don't need to put everybody in the same bucket, but I think we've lost touch with some of that.
I absolutely do, which is why I'm appreciative for what you do.
Thank you.
And thankful for how you do it.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing this, and thank you for taking some time today.
You're so welcome. Did I go off path? Bye.
Nope.
See you later, Josh.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, KBIS, the NKBA, for having me out this year and the opportunity to speak and to listen. Thank you for everyone that I spoke to out at the show. And thank you all for taking the time, really, to share your thoughts. Love it. Thank you to my incredible partner sponsors, Pacific Sales Kitchen and Home, TimberTech, the Best Buy Company, Shelter Republic, for their sponsorship of Convo by Design, which allows me to seek out sublime design stories from beyond the work itself and showcase unique personalities, chasing new ideas and changing the way we think about design and architecture, and present it to you. So please give them all an opportunity on your next project. Thank you for listening and sharing your journey of ours. 2026 marks 13 years of constant publication of the podcast with over 700 episodes. I couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't want to. Please keep those guest suggestions coming, as well as thoughts about where you would like to see the show record live in the future. Convo by Design at Outlook.com and on Instagram at Convo by Design with an X. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, be well, focused, and driven so you can rise above the chaos.